Hello YouTube, and hello Hannibal. So we're in the middle of some drama now, and I'm sorry to tell you this is drama. People have called you a drama whore in the past, have called you out for drama, and I've always said that's not what Hannibal is doing. And here, I don't think that's what you're trying to do. But I want to give you some advice. I would like to walk you through this from the point of view of an outsider. So I think you've made some big missteps here, and I would like to elucidate them for you, just so you can see if what I think the issue is and what you think the issue is can kind of come together. The skeptical heretic has pointed out in the past that you could be a great YouTuber. And indeed, I think the majority of your content is great when you are in your element. The problem, as Skep pointed out, is your temper. You let people get under your skin and you turn them into avatars of what is wrong with the world. The problems that you point out are not problems you are making up, but you are pinning them to people. And rather than saying this person is exemplifying this type of behavior, you are justifying, or at least creating the appearance of justifying, distaste for a group based on the worst traits of an individual. And that is not a good thing. Given that the point of your videos is to get people off of exactly that kind of thinking, where race is concerned, where gender is concerned, it really doesn't do any good to tell people, on the one hand, be open-minded to feminists and understand that they have differences, and on the other hand say, don't be open-minded to MRAs and don't understand that they have differences. Now, as I stated in my last video, I'm comfortable up to a point talking about MRAs and the MRM in these unequivocal terms. I have not dealt with any MRAs who I've been able to have a conversation with. I'm subscribed to Girl Writes What, left a couple comments on a couple of her videos, got no response, no big deal. I'm subscribed to Yes I Am James, and while I don't agree with everything he says, he hasn't said anything to date that I found that I've taken exception to. Again, I've left a couple comments on some of his videos, never got any response, no big deal. I don't think it's wise to make categorical distinctions that if you are an MRA, if you hold on to that label, then you are simply not worth anyone's time. The dialogue has to remain open. And overt hostility will not do any good. Now, I think, having watched your videos for a while, you hold the same values towards the gender issue that I do. That is, being a gender egalitarian. And what that means is that gender traits, sex and sex traits are irrelevant to anything of value. They do not have any intrinsic, substantial value. They don't inform how we should live. Men can be masculine. Women can be feminine. And there's no problem with that. We don't have to tell women that they need to take on all of the traits of men in order to rise up out of their oppression. And we don't have to tell men to avoid feminine characteristics. Out of the things that people do, the choices that they make, the traits that they have, the values that they espouse, issues of gender identity, sexual orientation, whether a man is more masculine or comparatively more feminine, and vice versa, whether a woman is comparatively more feminine or more masculine. All of that is irrelevant. Judging people for transsexual identity and so forth, none of this says anything of value. But you need to understand that there are differences between men and women. There are differences between those who are cisgendered, those who are transgendered, those who work in sex work of any kind, and those who don't. Understand you are not a part of these communities. So if you stand up and speak about them in a way that you think is giving them support, it's very easy for them to take what you are saying as demeaning, as condescending, as standing up and speaking for them. And from my point of view, which is limited, I think that's what was happening. Now, I saw the video that Exiled put up calling you fistful of dicks, and that's obviously uncalled for. You are not a misogynist. However, showing support for someone in their community does not make you a member of that community. And when I see the level of anger that you have on display, it makes me think that you did, in fact, consider yourself a part of their community. And you never were. You never could have been. I support sex workers' rights. And I've said as much in a video before that having been a customer, I have respect for the service that is provided. It's something that I valued, and I valued the person who entered this exchange with me. But I have not ever been a sex worker, and I'm unlikely to be a sex worker in the future. I will not participate in the conversation of what is best for them, what is in their interests. Now, if you want to swear off the sex-positive community, then that's your call. Subscribe or don't subscribe to whoever you want. But if you are adding one more categorical not worth my time, I think you are making a further grave misstep. Putting up all of these walls, putting up all of these fences, of saying these are people I am not going to talk to, shows intellectual weakness on your part. And I hope you don't take that personally or take that as an offense when I say this. I'm trying to speak honestly to you about this. The way you lose your temper is a weakness. You let people pull you around and then do not behave rationally in dealing with them yourself. I've said before, I think it is a bad policy to block and remove comments. Not that I don't block anyone. I do. I don't tell people not to block. It's your call. It's your channel. It's your rules. But the people you block, you will see them again on YouTube. Understand the kind of animosity that builds, the pressure that forms. So when you, for example, comment on Jordan Owen's video, don't be surprised that people you've already blocked begin commenting to you in that thread. That you leave a positive comment and don't expect to get snarky, sarcastic responses in reply. That's something that you've built. Oppose the MRM, that's fine. Criticize MRAs, that's fine. But you have made a mistake in this categorical declaration. The way I deal with MRAs, and maybe they haven't caught it yet, but the purpose of my dialogue with them is to see if I can get them to disengage the positive and the negative aspects of their movement. of their message. I agree with many of the points that they make. Men are treated as disposable commodities. There's historical precedent for this. I don't agree with them that it is because of feminism. The dialogue that we need to maintain with MRAs, keep in mind this includes both men and women, and will also include people who don't identify as MRAs, but who are very sympathetic towards the issues that they address, who also have criticisms of feminism. You need to maintain this dialogue in order to reach those people. Saying that there's this group that is not worth your time, but you're going to do 10+ minute videos about them anyway, is counterproductive. If they're not worth your time, then don't address them. Don't make videos about them. But again, what I think is you feel betrayed because you identified with this community, consider yourself a part of the community, and then we're told very abruptly you are not a part of the community. Maybe I'm reading too much into that. But that's where I think this anger is coming from. Your own sense of betrayal. When I read the comment section that you linked in your video, honestly, I don't see the big deal. Yes, she was abrupt with you. She was less than polite. I don't know what's been happening between you guys leading up to this. But based just on those comments, my response is, you need a thicker skin. Now, as I said, I'm not telling you what to do. You said you're going to be thinking and reflecting on this. Clearly, I hope you do. I hope you reach some informed, critical decisions. What I want to add to your thought process is consider pulling down the walls that you've put up. There might be MRAs who you can dialogue with, who you can talk to, who you can learn from. You might have already alienated them, but that doesn't mean you can't win them back. It doesn't mean that you can't carry on a dialogue. You don't have to be anti-MRA. The same thing, the criticism that I give to the MRAs and the radical feminists, who, I mean, I agree with you. These people have ideas that need to be beaten down, need to be chipped away. But the negative elements of their ideology have to be separated from the positive ideals that anyone should be able to get behind. And that is how you take out a fundamentalist, extremist ideology, by separating out these ideas and proving to people that you can have the positive without the negative, that you don't have to put it all together into one meta-narrative ideology in order to be on the right side of an issue, that you can, in fact, assess your own values and then look at the issues and decide for yourself, subjectively or objectively, but you don't have to buy part and parcel wholeheartedly into an ideology, and that is the trap to avoid. In so doing, don't look at these ideologies as whole concrete things and say, I am just going to reject everything about them and everyone who takes them seriously. So again, I'm not trying to participate in drama. I'm not trying to talk down to you. I'm not trying to take anybody's side. But these are my observations, and I hope you find them worthwhile. Take care.